improved self-image, improved confidence, improved self-esteem, improved health, improved attention from other people if you care about that sort of thing. These are just a few of the ways that lifting weights and exercising regularly will level up your life. If you're just starting out in the gym and you're not confident and you feel self-conscious and you feel awkward being there, the solution is really simple. Go more. All confidence is comfort. If you're uncomfortable somewhere, you're not going to be confident there. If you are stepping into the gym for the first time, you don't know where the locker rooms are, and you don't know which machines do what, and you don't know where you're supposed to go, how are you supposed to be confident in that situation? The more you go, the more comfortable you are in that space, it just starts to come naturally. I mean, look at me. I've got a camera and tripod set up in the middle of the thing. Granted, I'm not getting in anyone's way, but I was self-conscious when I started doing that. And I was until I realized that there's a very simple reality. Nobody cares. As long as you're not in anybody's way and bothering anybody, nobody cares. Tries for the guys, or girls, or wait, it's, never mind. By the way, contrary to what you see in these videos, I don't just lift upper body. I also do legs. The only reason that you see me doing upper body most often is that I typically will do legs in the middle of the week, usually on a Wednesday, and when I record videos like this, to give myself the time, I usually do it on like a Saturday or Sunday morning, so the timing just doesn't really coincide, but I'll do some legs one of these days, just so you don't think I'm Johnny Bravo. I'm definitely not. Look at me. So whenever I'm working shoulders, I like to build it kind of rounded and, you know, just get a good proportion. I like to do exercise for the front, an exercise for the middle, the side, if you will, and an exercise for the back. So you're building that round shoulder like that. How do you know if your weight is too heavy? This is something that comes up a lot, especially with people just starting out. I got news for you. If your reps look like this, your weight's too heavy. If they look like this, then you're probably in pretty good shape. So that weight I just did, people talk about training to failure, but there's a difference between training to failure and training to true failure. So I just did 6 reps there, 40-pound dumbbells. I could have maybe gotten 2 more, but I would have been like absolutely like dead after that. I would have had nothing left. When people talk about leaving a couple reps in the tank, that's what they're talking about. I chose a weight that I did 6. I could have done 8 if I really pushed myself, but I would have been like completely shot. So train to failure, don't train to true failure. See the difference? You hear those clanging of the weights in the background. That's how you know people are putting in work. And what will you do, Clarice, when you hear the clanging of the weights? I love working arms. I love it so much. Time to blaze some arms, bro. This is hands down my favorite tool ever for biceps. Remember those back shoulders I was talking about? You're looking at it. This is definitely not the right bench for this with these little feet thing on the sides, but you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, post-workout meal time. We've got this absolutely awesome habanero popper. A little bit of a different take on the
jalapeno popper. I used habaneros because I'm a psychopath and I like spicy stuff. But it turned out really well. I haven't even taken the first bite yet. Woo! Oh yeah, that's a good spice. It's good. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that's spicy. So made a couple of these with the brioche buns, get some carbs in there, and then also got some sweet potato fries, which all I did was just chop up the potatoes, put them in the air fryer, sprinkle a little seasoning to get some nice complex carbs for, just slow, maintained, released energy throughout the day. One thing I want to illustrate too is that these meals that I post typically they look really complicated. The stuffed burger, like, oh gosh, that's crazy. It's really not. It's all this stuff is pretty easy. I just put it in one of these little ramekins. I put the little put some ground beef in there. I put a couple strips of turkey bacon to wrap around it so they kind of crisp up, and literally just put the ground beef in, put the cheese, put the cream cheese, put the sliced up habaneros, and just literally just put it in the oven. So I'm not like a professional chef or anything like that. Everything I know about cooking, except for a few things my mom taught me, it's all self-taught stuff. So if I can do this, so can you. If it takes me 25 minutes to make something, it'll take you 25 minutes to make something. This all took me 5 minutes to prep, so pretty easy. But I also want to illustrate something too about eating healthy, for lack of a better term, is unless money is no object and you're just having custom meals made and shipped to you all the time, if you're using one of those meal prep companies, which some of them look pretty good, but it can really add up fast. I did the math, and using one of those if I ate the exact same macros and the exact same calories using one of those services as I did just making things, my grocery bill would triple overnight. Now, again, money is no object. Hey, fine, go for it. If you don't have time to cook, you're willing to pay the money to do that, by all means, go for it. But if you want to eat healthier, there is going to be some level of meal prep involved, whether that's meal prep in the form of doing the Tupperwares, the making things ahead of time on like a Sunday and kind of having it set for the week, or prepping, aka cooking your own food. So it doesn't matter how busy your schedule is, or it doesn't matter what you have going on. The healthier you want to eat, there is some of that involved. And it's better to, in my opinion, prepare your own things than it is to get them made, because when you prepare them yourself, you have such a greater degree of control of what goes in them. If you make some fries and you look at your diet and you say, oh, I need another 20 grams of fat, it's as simple as adding a tablespoon of olive oil. But when you have things that are made for you, you're very much more limited on what you can do to customize it towards your diet and your dietary goals and your macronutrient goals. It's pretty much, hey, this meal has 20 grams of fat, 30 grams of protein, take it or leave it. So you're better off, if you don't have the time, make the time. If it, maybe you have to wake up 20 minutes earlier and throw some stuff in the oven to take with you. Maybe you do it the night before, but it is worth the extra 20 minutes to just cook a couple things and be hitting your macros perfectly. All right, we got our dinner all cooked up here. Got this absolutely delicious looking chicken piccata, super easy. Doesn't require a whole lot of cooking skills to do. You just heat stuff up in a pan, throw the chicken down. If you can make pasta, then you know how to do it. Again, the thing I'm stressing is that all these things I'm making, even though they seem maybe on the surface intricate, because everybody online is looking for, oh, I just want a quick and easy, healthy recipe. And yeah, dude, if you really care about that, I can give stuff to you that doesn't require any cooking and it doesn't need to be heated up, things like that. Yeah, I can show you how to make all these, but even the things that I make in these full day of eating videos that look really complex, they really aren't. This one, and I want to draw your attention to a couple things that came up with making this just now. Made some air fryer. asparagus too, because trying to be healthy, trying to like actually eat some vegetables for once. But something that I really want to draw your attention to. So I was literally in the middle of making this, and then I had like some like high, some work stuff come up, and I had to like drop what I was doing, and so this was just like half cooked, and it just sat there for like an hour. And so many people are going to use things like that on their fitness journey when they're trying to eat healthier, when they're trying to go to the gym. This morning was actually kind of a tough workout. I just woke up and for whatever reason, I was lethargic. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was like, dude, I could barely make it through this set. I don't even know how I'm going to make through this workout, but I powered through. Uh, should I have taken it easy? Probably, but I didn't because I'm a psychopath. So I didn't go lighter on anything. I was like, no, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm doing all my workout, and I will try my best not to pull something or injure myself or whatever's wrong with me. But so many people will use setbacks like that through their day. So many people will use things that life gets in the way as an excuse of why they're not going to stick with it. So let's say you were one of my fitness coaching clients, and I said to you, hey man, so how was your diet this week? Well, I kind of cheated on Friday night because, well, I was making one of your recipes, but then, then the kid woke up and I had to put him back to sleep, so I had to go get Jack in the Box. No, you didn't. You just wanted to. You just used that as an excuse to go do it. You know what I did? Because I came back and I was like, okay, I've got this half-cooked dinner that's probably weird now. I literally just picked up right where I left off. Thankfully, my cooking skills are sufficient enough where I knew how to salvage it, and it looks pretty good actually. Before I speak too soon, see what I know what I'm talking about here. Yeah, it's good. Same deal with the workouts. Some guys will say, way too many people, men and women, doesn't matter who you are, will wake up and have a morning like I had and say, well, Friday's workout didn't go so hot because I woke up but I was kind of lethargic, so I did one set and I left. Well, then you didn't do a workout, dude. And you get mad a month later saying, well, I'm not really seeing any progress in the gym. How many days did you go this week? You're supposed to go 5. Well, I was going to go 5, but then it's like, yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that's not directed towards anybody. I'm not going on a rant. I'm not angry or anything like that. I just wanted to use this as a good teachable moment, if you will, for what happens when life hits you, and if you use that as an excuse to go back to your old bad habits, or you stick to your guns and say, well, you know what, dude, that was kind of goofy that I got called away and then I didn't get to finish making my dinner. Well, you know what, dude? I'll finish it when I get home, and maybe have to heat it up in the microwave, so be it. Well, maybe I woke up and I kind of tweaked my shoulder and I couldn't really do my workout. Okay, so I'll adapt it and I'll lower the weight. I'll do what I can. So those are all things that you can and should do. If you really ever want to get anywhere in the world of fitness, you want to keep building physique, you cannot let life's little BS kick you and keep you down. You have to figure out a way to adapt. All right, last but not least, we got our dessert. Super easy frozen bananas. There's always money in the banana stand. I don't know who out there is Arrested Development fans, but that's what that's from. Which is an awesome show, by the way, if you've never seen it. I still quote it to this day. It's hilarious. Super, super easy. Literally just mix it up, dunk your bananas, put them in the freezer. That's it. Got a lot of protein from the chocolate sauce and obviously from the nuts, the almonds. So yeah, really, really good. And actually, matter of fact, find out how good they are. Ooh. Mm. Oh, it's cold. Oh my gosh. My teeth are, my teeth are really sensitive to cold stuff. They always have been. I don't know why. Not hot. Hot's okay, but cold. I don't know why. I've just never been able to. So, checking what I've got plugged in, my Fitness Pal here. So, my macros this week that I'm shooting for are 190 grams of protein a day, a little bit over 1 gram per pound of body weight, about 429 grams of carbs, and 86 grams of fat. So the breakdown, if you're curious about that, ends up being for my daily intake 53% carbs, 24% fat, and 22% protein. So we're right exactly where we need to be, right in the thresholds recommended. So yeah, really good on those numbers. I hate to say it, but I may have been a little too ambitious on my lean bulk number. I've been at 3,500 for a few weeks, or yeah, about a few weeks or a month now, and I was starting to notice that I think I might have been gaining weight too fast. At my leanest in July, I was down to 155 and like super shredded, like, maybe not competition ready, but not far off. And right now I'm about 170. Now, granted, I think a lot of that is most likely water weight because my carb intake has increased so dramatically, so I'm holding more water. So take that with a grain of salt, but that that's the tricky thing about bulking and cutting, is that it sounds very paradoxical, but even though calories are kind of an exact science where the science of calorie deficit and calorie surplus are pretty cut and dry. If you eat more than you burn, you gain weight. If you burn more than you eat, you lose weight. However, when it comes to actually implementing that in real life, it's not an exact science. Those numbers that, for example, the recommended fat intake is between 20 and 35%. A lot of this stuff, it's good on paper, but remember, everybody's body is different, and everybody processes food differently. So the numbers that work for me might not necessarily work for you. You might need to take down your fat intake to like a 20% of your daily intake. You might need more fat. Your body might have a tough time with that many carbs. You might need to drop that number down to maybe as low as like 45% of your daily intake, that sort of stuff. So just some things to keep in mind. Honestly, if anything, I feel like between bulking and cutting, I feel like bulking is actually more difficult in my experience. First of all, there's the ego, the question of your ego. It's really a big hit to your ego when you see those abs just getting less and less defined, and you have to tell yourself that it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. Trust the bulk. Trust the process, which is important. But yeah, it's tough to know. And then by that same token, you also have to remember that you don't want to be in too severe of a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit. If you are in too severe of a calorie deficit, you're in like starvation territory where you're so depleted that you're not going to be able to maintain your current muscle mass, and you're just trading in one problem for another. And obviously, calorie surplus, if you're eating way too big of a surplus, yeah, you'll gain weight, but you'll also gain a lot of fat, because what does your body do with all those excess calories and all that excess energy? So I'm not a big fan of people who say, no, dirty bulk and clean bulk and all that. I don't really think of it in terms of dirty bulk and clean bulk. I think of it as moderate to extreme bulk. I think of in terms of numbers as opposed to quality. I hate to say it, theoretically, if you eat enough chicken, rice, and broccoli, if you're in enough of a surplus, you're going to get fat. If you're in enough of a surplus, even if you're eating clean and you're not dirty bulking, you are going to gain fat. It's unavoidable. So don't think about too much of, obviously try to eat whole nutritious foods as much as you can, but think about not so much in terms of, is this a clean bulk or dirty bulk, but think of in terms of, okay, how much of a surplus am I in? Is it moderate, aka a lean bulk, or is it super severe where yes, I'm going to gain a lot of weight, but it's going to be a good amount of fat too? So just a couple things to think about. But thanks for watching, guys. And I'm gonna, as I've been talking, these have been thawing out a little bit, so they're a little more palatable for my poor sensitive cold teeth. So I'm gonna go to work on these, and see you guys next week.